Hello everyone! Around the anniversaries of Final Fantasy, it has become a tradition of releasing short stories. The first set of these were Tales from the Calamity, a 5-part series which follow major lore characters before the start of our story. I am currently reading the 3rd part today, where we will follow Kan-E-Senna after the battle at Cardano. You can listen to the stories in any order, but I highly recommend checking out the other ones after this one. Tales from the Calamity of Friends Lost and Found. The battle was over, but none could say that peace had returned to Cardano. The lesser moon and the winged abomination that burst from his belly had visited devastation on the once fertile flat, leaving naught but a scarred wasteland for as far as the eye could see. Matron, have mercy, I have died and gone to the 7th hell. Elder Seeds here, come quickly! Kan-E-Senna turned with a start, the sudden cry rousing her from a moment's reverie. She forced her eyes to focus on the speakers, a young serpent, his armor caked with dirt and gore, beckoning with a bloodied hand. My lady, there is something trapped beneath its steel beast. Mustering her strength, Kan-E-Senna joined the youth beside a fallen Magitek Reaper. From beneath the wreckage, she could make out an anguished groan of one tenaciously clinging to life. One of her own, crushed by the armor of a fallen foe. At the Elder Seedseer's command, 5 soldiers joined their strength, slowly raising the battered hulk to free the unfortunate soul caught beneath. Even as the ponderous mass rolled aside, however, it became clear that the survivor had sworn no oath of allegiance to the Twin Adders, nor any company of the Orsian Alliance. Clad in armor of the same unholy steel as the Magitek monster which had entombed him, the higher-in youth met Kan-E-Senna's gaze. Not yet a man grown, there he lay, bloodied and battered, on this god-forsaken battlefield. Nofika, have mercy, he's but a boy, forced into service against his will likely as not, ordered to lay down his life for a cause he scarcely understands. A strapping elephant serpent stepped forward, seizing the youth's shoulder with a mailed fist, and bringing the edge of his jade-hilted blade to the boy's throat. But say the word, my lady, the lad will feel no pain. Stay your hand. Kan-E-Senna's voice was soft, yet stern. He may have fought against us on the battlefield, but the battle is over. Now he is but a wounded child in need of care that none save us can provide. Aye, my lady. The soldier hastily sheathed his blade, his expression carefully neutral. Taking up Clostrum, the staff of legend, carved from arbor immemorial, the Elder Seedseer stepped forward and focused her thought on the wounded youth. O guardian of this land, let the breath of life sweep across this plain, that it may mend this child's broken body and bring succor to his wounds. What left Kan-E-Senna's lip as a whisper rose to echo across the flat. A gentle breeze broke the eerie stillness in the air, whistling as it swirled about the spot where the boy lay still. The tortured grimace on the youth's face slowly loosened. His eyes opened for a brief moment, then closed in a peaceful slumber. The boy will live. Bear him to the rearguard and see that he receives rest and nourishment. As you wish, my lady. For the next few bells, mayhap a full turn of the sun, he couldn't say. Kan-E-Senna walked the battlefield, tending to the wounded, Eorzean, Garlean, friend or foe, it mattered not. These people cry out to me to ease their pain. Threading her way through the carnage, she weaved the incantation that would close wounds and ease anguish, bringing solace to the suffering. And yet, for every one that she saved, countless scores were beyond saving. Looking out upon the bodies of the fallen, the Elder Seedseer proclaimed, they gave their lives in the name of hope, and hope forsook them, came the silent reply. They would never have come here if not for me. As the leader of Gridania, a nation barely a stone throw from Garlean-held territory, It was Kan-E-Senna who first reached out to her comrades in Ul'dah and Limsa, setting in motion the event that would lead to the reforming of the Orcian alliance. A seeker of harmony in all things, the eldest Aesir never had any wish to lead her people into a bloody conflict. Serenity, purity, sanctity, the virtues he held so dear, were nowhere to be found on the desolate fields of Cardenau. Yet, what choice had there been? The prophesied calamity could not simply be ignored, not if Eorzea was to have any hope of peaceful tomorrow. If there even was a chance that it could be averted, was it not their duty to try? Alas, the task had proven beyond her. Alamut had fallen, unleashing Bahamut's terrible vengeance upon the land, and now the seventh umbral era was upon them. Despite her best effort, Eorzea's dream of hope had given way to a waking nightmare. Kan-E remained in Cardenau for several days, seeking out what few survivors remained, and saving those that could yet be saved. Staring out over the wreck and ruin, he would often think upon the decisions he had made prior to the Calamity's day. Was their suffering and sacrifice inevitable? Was there truly no other way? He could not say for sure, nor was her uncertainty limited to past events. By tarrying so long in Cardenau, was he not failing her people? Was her place not with them back in Gridania? They too were suffering. On more than one occasion, they resolved to return to the Twelvewood, only to reconsider. Her siblings and fellow Aesir, Arun and Reo, stayed behind to watch over the forest, as did many skilled and compassionate hearers. I trusted them then, I must trust them now. Those who sacrificed themselves at the battlefield had done so at their command. Until I have done all that I can for them, my place is here. He pressed on, scarcely stopping to eat or sleep. In the face of the men and women he saved from death and suffering, he found the strength to carry on. The sun rose and set, and one day blurred into the next. But toward the close of the first week, the search parties had begun to return empty-handed. Among the soldiers who had stayed behind to assist in the relief effort, morale was low. They had seen the corpses of too many of their comrades, and their thought turned inevitably to the friends and loved ones waiting their return home. I have asked enough of them. It is time. Summoning her most senior officer to her tent, Kan-E gave the long-awaited order. Begin preparation for withdrawal. We are going home. After her men had dispersed, the eldest Aesir stepped out onto the ravaged plain one last time. My work here is not yet done. It had always been there, in the corner of her mind, but she had been too absorbed into the healing of the wounded to act upon it until now. Tracing the tatter of her memory and the etheric current in the air, Kan-E-Senna scoured the battlefield. Minutes became hours, her search yielding naught but devastation. I know it's here. Archon Louis was, show me the way. The words were still on her lips when she saw it. There, nestled in the lee of a blackened crag, rested the shattered remains of a staff. Tubismati. Kan-E recognized the great staff at once. Even lying there in pieces, its power was plain. She could feel the etheric energies which radiated from it as keenly as one might the warmth of the sun. Quite how she had known that the staff had survived the Elder Primal's fury, she could not say. Standing there, it almost seemed as if the Archon's benevolent hand had guided her. This thought served to lift her spirit, and she forgot her aching legs. Your death shall not be in vain, my friend. Though Louis' great wisdom was lost to Eorzea forever, at least those destined to carry on his legacy would have his most cherished relic. The next day, Kan-E returned home, much to the relief of her countrymen. Gridania had not been spared Bahamut's wrath, and the return of the eldest Aesir was a source of much comfort to all as they struggled to pick up their pieces of their shattered lives. Strong they are in the face of such adversity. but the road ahead will not be easy. While overseeing the reconstruction of her home, Kan-E-Senna was reunited with 2 members of Master Louisoix's Circle of Knowing, who had stayed behind to lend their aid to Gridania in her time of need. One day, when the time seemed right, he approached them. "Ida, Papalymo, my friends." Kan-E-Senna searched for the right word, but they would not come. Holding an ornate box of rosewood bearing the mark of the Carpenter Guild, she simply nodded. "For us? Oh, Kan-E, you shouldn't have." Ida's smile froze as he raised the lid. "Master Louisoix? They said he was, but I hoped." Kan-E saw tears well up in the girl's eyes, and soon enough her shoulders began to shake. Even Papalymo, not one for emotional outburst, was unable to contain his grief, and so the 3 of them shared a moment of mourning for the fallen Archon. The Lalafell was the first to compose himself. Clearing his throat, he proceeded to expound upon the relic and its origin, as much Kan-E suspected to distract as to enlighten. Tubismati, he explained, was fashioned from the stone engraved with ancient incantation and a treasure torn of bone passed down from antiquity. As his late master had told it, the staff was the beacon that would summon the 12 down from the heavens and bring about Eorzea's deliverance. "You have done us great kindness, Elder Seedseer," Papalymo continued. "Though none save Master Louisoix possesses the power to wield Tubismati, I shudder to think what might have resulted had it fallen into the wrong hands. You may rest assured that we will keep it safe." I don't have the words, thank you," Ida added. "If only Master Louisoix were here. He always knew what to say." Perhaps sensing further tears were imminent, Papalymo quickly pressed on. "My lady, now that you're safely returned to your people, it is time we took our leave. Would that we could remain here longer to assist in the rebuilding, but other matters demand our attention." The scholarly Lalafell then proceeded to explain that the Path of the 12 and the Circle of Knowing were to be united as a single entity, an organization which would strive to realize the dream for which Archon Louisoix gave his life: peace in Eorzea. The realm had lost its greatest champion, and the threat posed by the Primal, the Garlean Empire, and who knew what else still loomed large upon the horizon. Yeah, and he thought as he looked into the eyes of the 2 Sjarlians, with brave souls like these to defend her, there is hope for Eorzea still. Whatever evil we may face in the days and years to come, know that Gridania will always stand with you. 5 years after that fateful day, the wounds left by the Calamity had begun to heal in the 12-foot, the realm at large. In those rare moments when she was granted a respite from her duties, Kan-E-Senna would often reflect upon the path she had taken. "Do you watch us from above, Louisoix? Has Gridania, have I done your legacy proud?" Elder Seedseer, the council requires your presence." Kan-E turned about with a start. Before her stood a young Hieron in a leather armor of the purest white, one of the keeper of the entwined serpent, the Elder Seedseer's personal honor guard, established in the wake of the Calamity. "My thanks. Pray inform them I shall join them anon." The young soldier nodded deferentially. As he turned to take his leave, their eyes met, and the memories ever brimming beneath the surface came flooding back to her, the image as vivid then as they were 5 years before. "We pulled him from the wreckage. He was but a boy, alone and afraid." "Wait, I will go now. Pray accompany me." "As you wish, my lady," the youth gave a slight bow as he took his place by her side. There are few wounds that time cannot heal. Even those who once stood across the battlefield as enemies, through effort and understanding, may one day find themselves standing shoulder to shoulder, the stoutest of allies. Offering a silent prayer to Archon Louisoix and the friends he had lost, Kan-E turned her thoughts to the friends who now stood with her, and the countrymen who looked to her for wisdom and succor. The true rebirth of this realm has only just begun. as the sun-warmed light streamed through the leaves and down upon the path before her. Kan-E-Senna strode purposefully forward. The greatest challenge still lie ahead, yet we shall rise to meet them, together as one. Thank you so much for listening to the story. I hope you enjoyed it. You can also find the first 2 parts here on my channel. If you like Final Fantasy lore videos, make sure to subscribe and do all the good YouTube stuff, as it really does help with the algorithm. But for now, whatever you end up doing, I hope you have a lovely day.